When COVID restrictions started to be lightened, we were finally able to attend meetings. At the time, open spaces were the only and best solution. It's then that I attended the beta testing of In Our Garden, a new startup looking to create social innovation, bringing tourists to participate in farming activities. Ramona, the owner and founder, introduced us to the project and how she dreams of it. Many had attended the event, media was present. I met also several volunteers and collaborators. 5 years later, I still hear the same dreams and enthusiasm from Ramona, even though the collaborators are fewer. I volunteered for 8 months for the project as a social media manager, and I can say that I learned a lot from the successes and struggles of the project. Ramona has consulted for several projects worldwide, and as an entrepreneur, the main claim I kept hearing from her is the unclarity of laws and norms in Italy. Moreover, even though it looks like European funds and institutions are invested for such projects, it's always hard to find support. Let's hear from her about her journey. Hi Ramona,
Hi, Atta.
we are registering this episode today in your birthday,
Yeah.
and we are also celebrating your acquisition of the 55 hectares. So how you like to be presented today after 55 years, and what you are doing in with those 55 hectares.
Very good questions.
Very good timing.
Yeah. Yes, today is my 55th anniversary, so 5 is the number of continuous change also. And so today is a very important day in which I have to focus all my energy in putting these 55 years of experience in creating environments that are thriving, that the wish to become places in which you like to stay. So I decided to change my life already, 7, 8 years ago. Before I was an organizational consultant, I have been working all around the world for 30 years, doing social innovation, managerial training, sustainable development projects. And then after a while, I was starting to thinking, okay, now it's time to put everything together, what I learned in my activity around the world in one place. And so I started to travel around to seek for the best place to create this center that is gonna become like an antenna, reverberating good vibration and new ideas in a field which is very critical nowadays, which is food production and consumption, which is a theme that I've been very passionate for my entire life. Being aware that in Italy, the world leading capital of healthy, good food, even here we are getting troubles in achieving food sovereignty, especially in Sardinia, which is still the most beautiful island of the Mediterranean with a lot of culture, but still struggling with self-sufficiency. So I thought I go around and I look for a place which must have a potential to demonstrate that we can do regeneration in the soil and in the people that manage the soil. So what we do in our garden, which is the name that I choose for this firm, is to create a garden of regeneration for everybody to be invited to come and share and produce with us. So since I think that we need a revolution, but the revolutions never work. So better to do transformation. So in order to transform something, you must be aware of the problems and think about how to change the system that has been generating. Yes. So after a lot of traveling all around, I stumbled into Sardinia and I said, okay, this is the place. Why? Because there is a new awareness about how people can self-organize themselves to track and detect and apply solutions for some problems. For example, in Sardinia, we have a continuous loss of people attracted to go to live somewhere else, because even if the level of culture is very high, often the opportunities to find a job which is fulfilling your desire is difficult because of the mental system and because also of certain assets and certain characteristics of the place. So I came here, I looked around, and finally I found a place in which I can help region Sardinia to attract new people to live here and to spread new ways of living in an ecological way, in a sustainable way, without becoming obsessed. Because this is another issue, no? Like the people are getting to become more aware about how it is important to be self-conscious even in what we choose as a nourishment for our body and soul, but sometimes they jump too much into some form of extremism or some form of...
I always say extremes are always bad. But once you said, I decided for the second half of my life to be to have a project and have my own place to run. And I think you have to be Italian to say that, because usually we think that half of our life is like 30, 35. So having traveled a lot, why you decided to come back to Italy? Also, you have still a project in Jamaica. Why coming back to Italy? Is Italy the best or the better choice for entrepreneurship today?
Okay, rationally, if I came here because I was counting on the public support and all other things to make my life as a women entrepreneur in social innovation and agriculture, Italy probably would not be the best choice rationally. But emotionally and spiritually, this land which is so old and stable, with a lot of feminine energy embedded into the rocks sometimes, I think it's a good place to create a little sprouting opportunity for new seeds of knowledge and change. I've been looking a lot of insights. There are a lot of people here in Sardinia now which are trying to change the system to live in a more sustainable way and to create community. So my idea is basically they want to use the contact with nature as a way to regenerate contacts about human people. Because, for example, one of the problems in food production here is that the great distribution system deals with everything. So along the years, politics, general policy have brought people to become like concentrated on my business, what I have to do. I have to survive by myself. I have to fight and to compete with everybody, which is something which is a total nonsense. So the most important paradigm that we are trying to change here is to show that collaboration is possible, even if it's very difficult. Also because before, alongside with my engagement as a businesswoman and a consultant in the business world, I've always been accompanying social projects, social innovation, assisting cooperative to grow and thrive, creating activation from bottom up. So Italy has this inside. It's just that we have to remember, like, for example, here we do a lot of work giving a new value to traditional medicinal plants, to the history of the place, which is very present still now. We just need to find a way so that this old knowledge can become contemporary. And this is why, for example, tourism in Sardinia has a huge potential in the field of ecotourism, because here is not one of those places in which, apart from certain part in the coast, in which you exploit the situation, go there and just take what it is and enjoy, take a nice picture in a nice sea and then go home. And
they are basically towns that has been constructed for tourism. They didn't exist before.
Yes. So, but there is Sardinia, the real one, which is still there, alive and kicking, with a lot of youth and people that are coming from outside. So it's from the merging of different culture that we can work all together a system so that everybody can have his own way to protect the land and to do things that are real. So what we want to do is to become a place that can inspire other people, because we are a farm now. But in these almost 4 years of hard work to find all the resources to finally buy the place, which is happening today, we have always been trying to look for people that would, in the second part, help us to create a collaborative platform. What I mean? In permaculture, which is the philosophy that I discovered, especially in my volunteering in a Global Eco Village network meeting or permaculture convergences, I had the opportunity to be exposed to other places in which this paradigm of working all together, everybody with his own responsibility to create a synergy that can bring advantage to everybody, is already happening. Here there is a kind of one of those self-realizing prophecies in which people think that no, collaboration here is too difficult, and then people believe in that. So what we want to demonstrate is that for example, Sardinia has been one of the first places in the world during the Middle Age with Eleonora d'Arborea to create organizations also at a juridical level in which the land was managed in a communal way and everybody was working together, and there was not all this conflict about being a farmer or being a shepherd, which is something that is still in the actual mind of people, but a lot of things are changing. Yes. So we try to demonstrate that the collaboration is not only possible, is desirable, is working, is effective. It's going to be a challenge, but we are ready for
like
that.
it. You're speaking a lot about collaboration, about the place, about Sardinia. Also, a lot of youth are immigrating from Sardinia, and you create a lot of events here. How would you define social entrepreneurship, social innovation, and how you want to implement it here and why?
Okay, social innovation is what I've always been doing, even before it was called like that. I was always like that. So I have the sensitivity to understand when there is a potential, where something is dying and there is something that wants to live, to come to life. So I think Sardinia in this moment is exactly that place. So from the first day in which I came to live here, and it was 20 August 2020, what a period for the planet, what a period to start a business.
Time of change.
Yes, time of big change. So for example, since the beginning, we said, okay, we are a farm, and we strongly believe that mental health, if not managed properly, can drive to illness. And the best way is to strengthen your immune system, both at the physical level and at an emotional level. So this is why we always try to be open to people to experience the contact with nature and with other people in the same path. To think, okay, then yes, it's possible. Just to look at what is there, stay with what is there, and understand what is underlying and ready to come out. And so this is why I choose to stay here and to organize events, bringing people to enjoy nature, to know more, to rediscover and remember the wisdom that has been always in the mind of indigenous people everywhere around the world. So since I've been participating in a lot of movements of indigenous people when I was even in Brazil, even in Jamaica, so for me it's something that I can see and perceive. So my role now is to communicate and to show that yes, that is possible, it's already happening. We don't need to make such a revolution. We need to create concrete examples of a different way to farm, to regenerate the soil, to invite people. And so we also go a lot into a practice that can enhance awareness in people. So we organize holistic activity, cultural activity. One of the first things we did was to create a straw bale theater with the straw bales coming from our wheat, so that the community can join together and try to create a new pattern, because still now everybody believes that you have to have your own property and then you do your own business, while a lot of social needs are unmatched. So we try to invest a lot of money as a system to create organization that can do something to enhance the social development. But sometimes this becomes too complex, because then bureaucracy comes into that, and that makes it even more, difficult. So the challenge is to engage the system in power to help and support people like us that are trying to create a new paradigm, which is not that new. It's just going back to the old and wise technique of growing food and allow people to grow together.
Yeah, I feel like today in Italy or in many other places, farmers are obliged to create other activities to survive, especially if they have small lands. So you are trying to do all this in the format of agriculture and tourism. How you're seeing tourism today in Sardinia, how it's developing, what's for you is sustainable tourism, why you are creating experiences in rural areas?
Because here, being that is not a place that has been built expressly for mass tourism, there is real people living here. There is culture. There are youth that are learning again how to sing in the traditional way, how to perform. So, plus archaeology, plus the 1,000-year history in taking care of yourself with nature. So, I think it's unfair that Sardinia is still recognized only as a place where you can go and have a swim in the beautiful sea. Yes, of course. But there are many other opportunities. And also, why do I like the idea of becoming a multifunctional farm? Because now more and more people don't want just to travel to chill out. They want to invest when they travel.
It's tourism, it's not holidays.
Exactly. It's opening your chakra, opening your mind, and be aware to understand how other people in different contexts deal with the same items. This is why I have been always a big traveler in my life, because I was always curious. How in Mexico do they deal with social inclusion? How do they deal with the mental health? How do they deal with food production and consumption? And so I think that there is a huge demand of opportunities to understand the real culture that is still alive and changing continuously. This is what we want. You know, we make jokes about every restaurant saying, yes, we do a traditional cuisine with innovation. Yes, that's of course, because the same concept of tradition is to create your own tradition. It's like the laws, the rules. I respect the rules that I find intelligent and appropriate. So I think that putting together experiences in contact with nature and culture can help people to have a deepest experience. So your traveling become a way to expand your knowledge. And this is what traveling is supposed to be. And Sardinia has a huge potential for that. So this is why we're here. Of course, it's very difficult because the rules of the system are fought for a different organization, even in farm. But I like to feel that multifunctionality in farming is an opportunity, while we also have to pay attention because something is telling us that in some places some rules are being organized so that in the end everybody will be obliged to be multifunctional, because only from agriculture you will not survive. So this is also something which is ambiguous. We have to pay attention. So we want, yes, every farm must act as a cultural agent, showing what is behind food production and the organization of events, like even parties, even celebration, even rituals. Because what makes a difference in a community is the level of the interactions there are among the community. So what we try to do here is to engage even tourists in our daily life and let them to know the people that live here all year round. Because the lifestyle that we have in Sardinia, of course, also thanks to the weather, thanks to the history, is really
particular.
Yes. Well, also there is ambiguous because I'm a traveler. I've always been an engaged tourist. I've been supporting projects everywhere around the world. And still, I have to pay attention because tourism, for example, in Sardinia, a lot of potential is connected to low season, springtime, where the heat is not that much. For me, as a farmer, I like the sun, but now I am also afraid of it because we struggle with water a lot. So my dream is to engage and to invite people that maybe can even help us with new ideas about finding appropriate solutions and appropriate technologies to find solutions to one of our biggest problems, which is drought and lack of water. So being a system changer, I also partake in the construction of movements and organization, like for example the rural district of Sant'Isidoro, which puts together private and public operators to define projects to enhance the level of resilience of the place. So while we also do our work as farmers, we still have to deal with the community and to deal with the system of power, so that what is there, because it's a common need, can become more open and can attract the ideas and the energy of everybody to give his contribution. Because also another traditional problem is that we are used that the government is supposed to take care of many things, but the government cannot. So it's important to have active citizens that are aware of the problems and all together
trying to solve them.
Yes.
Okay. What you would advise someone starting a new project, or what we need to see more projects, more social innovation?
Okay, what I really hope is for people that wish and feel that social innovation, which is practically bringing people to act together in a different way, finding common solutions to common problems. I think we need to engage the official system to be more supportive. Like, for example, I'm helping people that want to immigrate in Sardinia to find a place to buy it. So we are also giving free consultancy about what you have to look at when you want to buy a piece of land, which kind of relationships you need to install with your neighbors and with your community. And so this is also something which is important. That we really think that this is not possible, is necessary.
Yeah, because we can't create change on our own. Thanks and happy birthday.
Thank you.
And thanks for your time.
And thanks for your time too, and your help all the time.